Hello and welcome back to another episode here on the OmathaCraft Season 4 server. In today's episode, it is episode 46, or is it 45? It's one of the two, that'll be in the title. But in today's episode, I want to do something that we actually did towards the end of last season. Now, it was something that we tested and we only ever played once, but it was really good fun and I really want to play it more in this season. So that's what we're going to do. Now, it's probably worth me telling you what this game actually is, and if you remember from last season, I think it was around episode 40, we made paintballing in Minecraft. It was really good fun, and that is what I'd like to do and start working on in today's video, so we can play it later down the line, because it's a really fun game. And we're just flying past the modern district over here. I don't think I've ever really showed this off on camera, but this is one of Dean's many bases just popped up around there. I am flying down in this direction because there is something I'd like to find, and it might give me, hopefully, a bit of inspiration for what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be building this up. Now, if you haven't seen this program before, this program here is a mist, and this shows you biomes in the world and different structures like villages. And as you can imagine, we are going to be building this at a village. Now, my reason for building it at a village is it really offers some really nice terrain. We've got some rundown buildings, we can destroy them just a little bit, and it hopefully will make it really good. Now, for perspective, if you're looking at this map for one of the first times, over here where that player head is, that is my base. So that is where our base is at the moment. Over there, that's our witch farm, for example. So you can kind of get a bit of perspective on where everything is. And down here is the gaming district. So what I think we need to do is we are going to head over to this village just here. We can see the coordinates just there. That is 4740. So we're going to fly there, make sure we head there, check it out. And if we like it, that's where we'll set up. If we don't, well, we have a few others we could check out. We could go and have a look at that one over there. Or we could go and do something off the island. But I think it would be really nice to build something on the island. And here we are at the village. I wasn't too far away, and this is it. So if we fly up, let's get a bit of a perspective. It is a bit difficult with all the big trees, but that is something I think I want to leave in. It gives some obstacles and some things to hide behind. But yeah, here we go. So it's a fairly small village. I think the first thing we need to do is we just need to come down and see, are there actually any villagers in here whose home we're going to be destroying? There's some mobs down there. We'll ignore those for the time being. Now, it looks like this village has actually been raided, which isn't a bad thing at all, as we don't want anything from the village itself, apart from, yeah, so there is a villager that has been trapped in and actually has been traded with fully. So we have a Woodland Explorer map, Ocean Explorer, a few bits and pieces. So what we might do is I'll ask around just to make sure these aren't anyone's villagers that we're taking hold of, yeah, there's some weird things going on there. I guess someone was doing some pillaring up. But yes, this is the village we're going to be claiming. And no, Creeper, I don't want you to blow things up. I don't want you to blow things up. Please, just go away. And I think it is raining at the moment. My resource pack reduces all of that rain, so it's not all in the face and ruining videos. But there we go. This is going to be our village. And as we've said, it is quite small. There are a couple of bits and pieces I think we are going to have to sort out. We've got areas up here which are floating a little bit. A couple of piggies just in there. But yeah, no, I like this village. I like this village. So I think what we need to do is we need to get all our shulker boxes set up and start coming up with an idea of how we are going to set this place up. So I've packed up all of my shulkers, I've put them in my ender chest, and we are beginning to set up over here. So I've just plopped my bed down just in the middle of the area just in here. Now what I want to do is I want to fly nice and high up, take a screenshot, and hopefully show you the lay of the land and what I plan to do in the different areas and give us a plan for the building in today's episode. We've opened up the classic paint and I'm going to give this a go drawing live on camera. It's going to be a bit interesting, but the first thing I want to mark out is where the boundaries are going to go. So similar to what we did last season, we are going to have a boundary wall. Now this boundary wall, I want to follow this cliff line around. So we've got a fairly steep cliff, and what I want to do is I want to terraform that cliff so you're not able to get up there even if you wanted to. So we don't actually technically have to build a wall up there, although we may further down the line. So from here, so we've got that cliff marking a nice little boundary. I think we'll then follow along the coastline, so we're going to make use of this coastline all around here. Now for perspective, just there, that is where our gear is currently set up. I think we might tweak that around just a little bit. Okay, so there we go. That is going to be our layout, and as we can see, we have included some of these small lakes. Now, I would like to keep them there. I think that's just going to be a nice little obstacle. There's a bit of open space, but if you go in there, you're in water, you could get trapped. It's giving some different playstyles, different tactics you could absorb, and again, we've got a similar thing happening just up there. We've got another one of those lakes, and we still have some closed area down here with all the trees around it. Now, I'd also like to incorporate some different little tricks you might be able to play with or find out and discover during the game. So I'd like there to be a tunnel system under the ground. So for example, you could enter a little hatch down there, which would take you underground all the way up and over here. So it could be a little escape route. Let's say you get cornered, you'd be able to go down that trap and get out of there as quickly as possible. But then again, what if you run into someone in the tunnel? It could get a bit dangerous and explosive. And with that, I think my plan is worked out. This is how I want this area to work. So firstly, these lines we have going through the middle of the zone, those are going to be our tunnels that you can play with during the game. You can run between it, you can escape. And you never know, we may even add a couple more when we get down there and we think, oh, maybe we could add one going from there to over here or something along those lines. They can obviously be tweaked and changed however we think is best. And then we have our coloured hubs. So these coloured hubs, we have blue, green, I think that's meant to be lime. Then we have purple and yellow. They could be whatever colours we choose, but I think in that area there, I don't think I want to squeeze any more in. I think having five set ones I think would work the best. In future, you may even be able to play as a team, so you could even build this up to maybe 10 players or 15 players or something like that. And then lastly, this is going to be our main hub. So this is kind of going to be the control center. That's where we're going to get our participants to play. That's where they're going to pick up their gear and things like that. And then this grey line is going to be sort of some underground tunnels, which they'll walk down for the start of the game. So I think that is our plan set out. And I'm looking forward to get down there and getting starting to work on this. Now, I think the first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to get this boundary wall up and running, and also sorting out this cliff face around here to make sure you can't escape from this area. Now, following the plan on our map, you will see that I've laid out these smooth stone blocks that are going the entire way around where this compound is going to be. Now, these smooth stone, this is going to be our fence, which I've started building up. If we swoop down here, you will see that, yes, as we have here, a lot of iron bars are being placed, and this is becoming our fenced wall. The whole idea of this is not meant to look that nice in a way. It is meant to be a real compound, and obviously this gives off the look. So the way I'm doing this, there's not much rhythm or a pattern to it, but we are just placing iron bars. These are 3 high on top of the smooth stone blocks, and then every so often I'm putting in one of these pillars with a slab on top so no mobs spawn on there. So yeah, it's nothing special, and they are all random, the gaps in between, but I think that sort of makes it gives it that more compound feel, that it is more run down. I've also decided I think I will make the fence go up the side of the hill. However, I'm not too sure just yet. And my other thing I really think needs to be done is lighting up the entirety of the compound so no mobs will spawn in there, because the likelihood these games will go on through the night, and obviously we don't want mobs spawning in and blowing things up or other bits and pieces like that. But yeah, I'm just working on down here. We've got to round here at the moment, and yeah, all we have to do is just placing these iron bars coming up like this, and yeah, so hopefully I'll see you once I've got this whole compound fenced in. And just like that, we have the mega fence in place. As you can see, this stretches the whole way round from coast all the way over to this coast over here. And if we follow this around, you'll see this stretches over the mountain tops just like that, and then down in the valley all the way to the corner point just over here. And there we go. That's actually making this place already feel like there's a compound. I almost lost it just there. There's a couple of bits I think I want to do. I think I want to tear down a few trees here and there. In some places like this area over here, it is just a little bit too dense. So I think some of these, like this tree here, I think will get chopped down just to get them out of the way. So there's a little bit more space for those fireworks to be exploding in. So yes, I think next up what I'd like to do is just start working out the area, marking out where we're going to put our team rooms, maybe dig those spaces out, and go from there, and we'll see what we come up with. And as we turn around to nighttime, This place is lit up. I have spent about half an hour or so fully lighting this place up. Now, hopefully, there should be no spawnable spaces inside of here. And I tell you what, it looks really, really cool, especially with all the area around it completely dark and the middle lit up. That is looking really, really good. Obviously, in the middle of the lakes, we don't really need to light anything up. I have made sure to remove those weird, mossy cobblestone things that float around in the middle. They are gone. So there's, again, no spawnable spaces on there. And obviously, mobs cannot spawn on top of leaves. So we're all good in that front. So this place is now safe to work in, apart from there's quite a lot of caves, and as we can see, yeah, that's probably the only place mobs can spawn. So I'm just going to quickly leave, forget about that place, and probably not go back and cover it up at some point. So that's the plan. The next thing I need to do is I need to go around and cover up all of those weird cave systems that are exposed. We don't want to be using those or people going inside of those. And we also need to do a little bit of work. I believe it's up in this area here. Yeah, so we've got to do a little bit of terraforming work with this fence just here. Obviously that is floating and you can just wander out just there, so that is again something else we will make sure to sort out. But anyways, let's crack on and see if we can get that done. And once that's done, I reckon we can start working on the team base rooms, and we should start having a game that's playable here. Now, I have been busy here in my redstone testing world, as you can see, and this is what we have constructed. This is going to be the logic behind the game, and I'm going to try and explain all of this to you firstly. So over here, this is going to be our headquarters. This is where the game control is going to be made, and this is where you're going to select how many teams you want to be playing. Obviously, a minimum, you can have 2 teams, all the way up to having 5 teams, and that is what we're playing by. That's what we designed out. So that is what we've planned out here. So let's say we want 2 teams. We don't have to flick a lever. We don't have to flick a lever because that is what I've done with the redstone logic. 2 teams is the minimum you can play with. Obviously, you don't want to play with 1 team as, well, that makes no sense and that's not going to work. You can't play against yourself. But if you want 2 teams, you make sure none of these levers here are flicked down, because if they're flicked down, obviously that means you're going to choose that number there. So let's say we wanted to play with 2 teams, you will see that these 2 lamps are off. And the reason for that is when you are in your room, in your preparing room, you're going to set your spawn, you're going to leave your gear. When you are ready, you're going to press this button, and when you press this button, your redstone lamp will go on, and when that redstone lamp goes on, that means you are ready for the doors to open. But your doors won't open until all of the redstone lamps have been switched on. So when this team here turns their redstone lamp on, you'll see that over there, that's indicating that the doors are open. For example, the doors will open just like that at your team base. So that is the logic behind it, and we can toggle this off. Let's say, oh, actually I'm not ready. They can turn those off and you'll see that lamp goes off. Now the reason these ones over here are already activated is because, well, no one's going to be there to turn them on. You'll be here waiting for the doors and they'll never open. So that is why we have a team selection logic coming on down here. And let's say we wanted 4 teams, we can flick that one just there. You'll see that those 2 lamps have gone off. And once again, we can also click on 5 teams and all the lamps will be off, meaning everyone has to activate their buttons just here. And you'll see these lamps are slowly popping on just like this. And then when that is on, obviously the doors will open and that is when the game will begin. So how does this work? So there's going to be one big AND gate underneath the game, underneath the arena, linking up all of the bases. And pretty much when all of the lines and all of these redstone torches are turned off, that is when we will get an output just here. So we'll see that redstone torch is on. Let's say we deactivate one of these teams just here. You'll see that that is now powered, meaning this whole line is powered, meaning this output is powered, meaning, well, there's no output and the doors will not open. So that is our logic behind it. Now we also have a small little system back here where this will be run at the end of the game. We'll make sure we have a reset button just like that, and you'll see all of it has been reset. Even if we press it again, they'll quickly activate, but obviously reset once again. So this is pretty foolproof and hopefully will all work pretty okay. And I'm really looking forward to starting to build this up over on the server. I think what we first need to do is we need to go and dig out those rooms where the teams are going to be based in, and once we've done that, we can actually start working on the underground logic circuits. Now, as you can see, I've also decided what I want the rooms to look like. These are just going to be the team-based rooms. They are very small rooms, and that's for a good reason. There's not too much going to be going on in there. We have a bed so the player can set their spawn. We have a double chest so they can put stuff out there that they don't need in their inventory. They've got an end chest so in case they want to put stuff or grab stuff from there. And then they've got a small chest here that is going to contain the crossbows. That's going to contain the fireworks, which are going to deal the damage. We're also going to have an armor stand, and that is going to be their team colours. I think we're only going to do a cap and a chest plate, though we may change that in the future. And then obviously we've got the activation buttons just there, and this here will be the door. As we can see, temporarily I have just popped in just like there, so that is going to be it. And the entrance will be through this door down here, and there'll be a stone tunnel wandering off into the game headquarters. But yes, we actually do need to get onto the server and get building this. I have created a map, and this map is a bit annoying, and that is for one reason. That is because I had to shrink it down 2 times, because otherwise it will be going onto multiple different maps. And the idea is we want it all on one map, and this will be able to go in someone's base and they'll be able to see roughly where things are in the game. So let's say we swoop down here, you will see that we are near where the pink team base is going to be. And if we pop down here, this is going to be where the pink team's headquarters are, and we do have a banner, I think, hidden back here. Yes, there we go. So we do have banners hidden around, and those are acting as our markers. If we fly up, we will see we've got a pink team base around there. If we fly just over this way a little bit, we do have the yellow team base just further up the cliff. So here's the yellow team bunker. That is again similar to the pink team bunker, just down underground like that. Then we have, I've marked out where the game headquarters are going to be, which is just, it's going to be over this way. That's currently where all of my gear is set up. And then if we fly over this way, we should see that in the mountain over here, we have the red team base. I've somehow missed the red team base, but this is where the lime green base are going. So they are going to be based underneath that big overhang over that way. And then over here, we have the red team base, which is hidden down in between the trees. So down here, this is where the red team base are going to go. Currently, it's a cave system, so we will have to terraform, obviously, the top of that, so there's no way in or out as an escape route. But then also, we do have the blue team base, which are going to be right over the other side. Over on this corner down here, you'll see that hidden between the cliffs, this is where the blue team base are going to be. So they have all been spread out fairly evenly, so hopefully when you come out you won't get blasted straight away. You'll be able to run around a little bit, and hopefully there'll be a bit of time to explore the arena and see what's best. Now I'd like to know what you think about doing the coastline here. Should we leave the coastline open and say you're just not allowed into the water, or should we continue the wall around, or do you have a different idea? If you do, let me know down in the comment section down below, because unfortunately that is all the time I have for today's video. And if you have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, as it really does help out the channel quite a bit, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.